Hi.
Hey, good morning. It's another day here at the Odd Rod Garage. We appreciate you guys coming by and spending time with us. So today we have a lot of tasks ahead of us. We are going to check the bottom end of the LS motor sitting here in front of us. You probably can't see it on camera. We're going to check the rod bearings and main bearings to make sure that they're in good condition. We're going to put a new oil pump seal because LS motors have a problem with that seal going bad and it loses prime to the oil pump. We're also going to put on a new set of heads that we have and torque that all down, and we're going to try and get the engine mated up to the transmission and possibly stabbed in the hole today. If not, that may be for tomorrow. But anyway, thanks for coming by and spending time with us. Here we go.
It's called the engine holder upper.
Engine holder up. That wasn't too hard, was it? All right, now that we have that on the stand, we're gonna get a little more cleaning up done, then we're gonna come back, start tearing it down, make sure everything is okay before we start building it back up.
All right, so first off, we're gonna peel all this extra stuff off of here, old gaskets, whatnot. Ideally, you want to clean all this stuff up prior to actually opening up the engine. That way you don't have a bunch of stuff flying around. So we're going to clean up this side. We're going to chip off all the old fun. An engine in there. I'm not worried about covering these guys up because we'll blow it out with air, and because they're in a hole, we don't really need to worry about that too much. But anyway, we're going to get the top of the valley here. Then we're going to blow it off with air and continue on. Yummy. I know this isn't the funnest job in the world to do this stuff, but it always pays off in the end. Alright guys, so we got the front of it cleaned up, we got the back and the valley in there, that's all cleaned up. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take, if you ever wonder what these are, this is your Nox sensor. It's got two of them in here. Other engines it's in different places, but on all the late model Chevys they're all right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this cover off, we're going to clean it up, and hopefully it comes out like the aluminum. Anyway, we'll clean it up and then we'll just dry fit it. We'll just set it back on. That way we don't get any contaminants in there. But you know, as we go, we're cleaning things up. And what these do is they normally all they see like, you know, a knocking noise or something like that. You know, God forbid the engine come apart or something like that. But you will get a Nox sensor code if you're running bad gas. Me personally, I always run 89 in everything. It burns really good. You actually get a little bit better fuel mileage. It's a little more expensive, but it's really good on your heads and stuff like that. It doesn't burn real hot. Anyway, it's a personal preference of mine. All right. Okay. So now we're going to go and clean our cover, and then we're going to go and sit that girl back on. So I don't want any contaminants getting in there. Hi guys. Alright, so I want to show you how far we've gotten so far. So I went ahead and cleaned and replaced everything. We have this side of this surface of the engine all cleaned up. And this guy, I didn't show you when it was going back together. But anyway, again, here's your Nox sensors. The wiring goes towards the back. They are different colored wiring, but I don't know if it really matters if you had plugged in the wrong one. Anyway, So yeah, this is all done. And so now we're going to go ahead and clean this guy up, and then she'll be ready for heads. And I'll show you why I got this stuff jammed in here. I'll show you real quick. Okay, so we know we're going to be changing the lifters on this. I want to show you why you leave everything in there. So now, obviously, you're taking these out, and here's the lifters in there. But if you did this open like this, and knowing full well you're going to change that, what happens is you can get garbage inside of there where the lifters are already at. So it's kind of like you're plugging up the hole with the lifters also. So now we're prepped here. I'm going to start the lifters soaking. You have to soak, ideally you soak lifters in oil for, I don't know, half hour or something like that. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and do that. Our engine plates are already on. And we're going to be installing the cylinder heads later on. Yay! Alright guys, like I stated before, wheel bearing grease on your fingertip. Don't bother with a rag because you can't get in there tight with a rag. Anyway, kind of using a duct tape as a lint roller. Alright, obviously this is your oil pickup. This is the O-ring we need to change here. This is a windage tray. We need to take that off. And we'll see what's going on in there. Some old trivia for you here. The windage tray was made in racing because oil flies around so much, they found out that oil on a crank would actually slow the crank down, so they started using windage trays. Kind of neato. Alright, I'm going to go take this O-ring out now. That way I don't forget it. Alright. So from underneath you can see the cam and everything. Looks like we got good cam wear. Alright guys, so now we're going to check the thrust washer back and forth, see what kind of play we got here. Looks pretty good.
Alright, been a lot of scrubbing, a lot of cleaning, a lot of painting. We checked the rod bearings and main bearings. They look to be in great shape. We are getting ready to torque down the oil pan, get that resealed. We put all new gaskets in it. Then we're probably going to be finished for the day. We'll let you know here in a second. Then tomorrow we're going to do rear main seal. We'll flip it over. We're going to do cylinder heads, all new gaskets, all new bolts because they're torque to yield. If you know what that is, awesome. If you don't, I'm not going to tell you. And then we're going to assemble the top end of it and we're going to stab this motor. So here we go. You broke my screwdriver. This oil filter right here is a vintage unit. We're going to continue to use that. Just kidding.
We're going to punch a hole in it first.
We just have it plug in a hole, that's all. Let me look. We have a little bit of corrosion here on the outside of this oil pan. It does not leak, so we're actually going to put some liquid metal on it. We're going to reshape that to make sure that we don't have any more corrosion. It won't hurt anything in the whole wide world. And when you win it, if you want to change it, have fun. Talking to a guy today that follows the channel and he was laughing at me saying, man, you were saying every other phrase the other day was, I'm a cheap son of a gun. I'm not gonna, you guys are getting an awesome truck. So it doesn't seem like a super important thing because nobody likes to have oil dripping in their driveway.
Oh, it takes all the fun out of it.
Takes all the fun out of it. It's awesome when you have oil all over your driveway and you back the car up so your kids can play basketball. And then that all gets tracked inside the house. LS engines are actually pretty good about staying dry as long as the rear main seal doesn't go on it. Well, like usual, I forgot to film something. We didn't film the torquing, but I'm not going to undo it to redo it. It's all in there nice and tight. But I am going to go through and give you some liquid steel on our oil pan here so that it looks nice. It won't do anything as far as performance is concerned. It'll just look a little better. This is my little spatula I use to put it on. I think it works really well. It's just a razor blade. That's all it is. We'll mix this stuff around until it turns a nice, beautiful gray. A dark gray, but as it starts to solidify a little bit, you can somewhat shape it. So, and this corrosion happened just because, although the engine was protected and setting underneath the cover, it was setting in the dirt for a small period of time, and it just happened to rain for once in Arizona, and it sat there and it just started eating at it. It's just like, you know, there was a time where Tommy said something about making a cake at Christmas time, and that's basically what we're doing. Is we're icing a cake now. I had it beautiful and I had to keep messing with it. That is good enough for now. That's gonna be good enough. I quit. All right, we didn't get as much accomplished today as we thought we were going to, but we got some other things accomplished that we didn't have on the schedule. So, got the bottom end all handled. This is gonna be dry in the morning. We'll get this knocked down and looking a little pretty. We'll get some black paint on it. We're gonna roll it over. We're gonna do our cylinder heads, intake manifold, rear main seal, put the transmission on. Now we'll get it stabbed in the truck, and just so you guys know, we're going to video again tomorrow, so this will be sort of a segmented thing. But so you know, this truck is going to go to Pavilions in Scottsdale. It's a weekly show. It's going to go Saturday night. It's not going to be running and driving, but I want to take it there, and I have big signs on it. Win this truck, it's a giveaway, yada yada yada. And so if you are here in the metro area and you would like to actually see the truck in real life, Pavilions, I'll be there from about 4 to 7. It's on Indian Bend Road in Scottsdale, Arizona. Pavilion Shopping Mall.
Great turnout there. There's a lot of neat stuff out there too.
Yeah, a lot of really cool cars. It would not be a waste of your time. Plus, you'll be able to check out the giveaway truck. So, anyway, that's it for tonight. We'll see you again in the morning. Thanks for watching. All right, so my wife informed me this morning that I needed to get a haircut. I needed to shave because I look terrible. Well, she didn't say terrible, but that's the way I interpreted it. I didn't shave and I didn't go get a haircut, but I probably will tomorrow. Anyway, we are here. We're going to install the lifters on the passenger side of the engine, and then we're going to get our cylinder heads on and get them torqued down, and we got to get this engine and tranny in today because we're running out of time. So I think Tommy showed you how you soak them in oil and how you angle them so that it doesn't, so you get the air out of them is what you do. And hopefully that is all taken care of because we're getting ready to install them. So these are roller lifters. So there's a little roller down there on the bottom, and you have to make sure that it's lined up with the lobe on the camshaft. Tommy, which direction were you putting the oil in that?
I put the port towards the back.
Towards the back? All right, we're going to keep it consistent. Not that it would matter, but so these go in, and then we set on these little retainers that stop them from rotating around. Because you don't want a wheel going crooked on a surface that's turning the opposite direction. That ends up skidding and wearing big holes and everything, and ends up not being happy. So there are little flat spots on these lifters so that they line up. You do this top and bottom so that they line up with the holders. So you almost can't mess it up, but yeah, I'm pretty good at messing things up. So I don't want to challenge myself in that manner. Now some people will install these in the holders. I'll show you that method right now. So we're going to do this from right here. So we'll say you actually install it like this. and then when you drop it down in, you know that they're lined up. So 2 different methods, and I'm going to show you both of those. One, you just push it down in, and then you put the retainer on top. One, you install it in the retainer, and you install it afterwards. And yes, my hands are getting all oily and nasty, but that's what you want. You want it soaked in oil, because if for any reason you do not have enough oil in this situation, you will be rebuilding this motor. Well, you will be, not me. Just telling you ahead of time. Just to let everyone know, the warranty on this vehicle is a 50-50 warranty. Yep. If this falls in 2 parts, you get both. Or I could go ahead and do a over the curb warranty. You have a warranty until it's in the street, and when you pick it up, I'll set it in the street for you. There we go. And then we're going to take this bolt, and we're going to put down our retainer. So basically, there's no warranty. I'm giving a stinking truck away. If this thing explodes going down the road in 8 seconds, it is what it is. I don't think it'll happen, but I'm making that disclosure ahead of time.
But it looked good doing it.
Yeah, it looked good doing it, absolutely. All right, so this one I used the retainer to put it in. This direction here, we're not using the retainer until we go back and reposition like I said. And then we go ahead and put our bolt down, and we're going to torque this down to, I think it is 16 foot-pounds, which I think is about 112 inch-pounds. Bottom line is, not very tight. And I got oil all over my hands, and I have band-aids on today, like you know I always do have. So I'm going to change those out. You notice we keep a lot of rags over the top of stuff. We're not working in the most sterile environment here, and we would try and keep as much dirt out as possible. All right, so I have the cylinder head on. I'll show you the other one as we do it, but we have the cylinder head gasket on. We have the head on. We have all the bolts basically snugged down. Now I'm going to torque the head. And these bolts are torqued to yield. So you torque them to 22 degrees, which will use the click ratchet when it goes click. We know that we're there. And then you do 90-degree turn on all of the bolts in a certain order. And then you do a 90-degree turn on all the center bolts plus the bottoms, and a 50-degree turn on these 2 right here. So we'll get to showing you that. There's always an order that you go in as far as the bolts are concerned, and basically you can sort of figure it out yourself, but you start from the middle and you do like a spiral on the way out so that it equalizes the pressure on the head and you don't end up warping it. So 22 degrees is not very much, by the way. And we will go through 2 or 3 times and make sure that it's at 22 degrees. All right, I think this will be the last pass, and then we'll do a 90-degree. All right, so you see my little degree wheel here. Obviously 90 degrees and 50 degrees. So we'll be able to line it up. We'll be able to line it up with a certain point. We'll be able to run our degree. So here we go. Actually, I'm going to crank this. Alrighty. All right, that is all torqued. Now we'll go through, we'll torque these upper ones, and we'll be all good.
It's beautiful. Oh, it's very.
I know you're lying. If it's beautiful, it means I'm not in the picture.
Gee, it looks like an engine.
Almost. So So just like everything else in the world, it always takes longer to do things than you think it's going to. It costs more money, it takes longer, it's more frustrating. Sometimes one bolt will take you 6 hours when the whole job should have only taken you 15 minutes. Am I telling the truth?
That's exactly how it goes.
Absolutely. But we got her covered up, we got all the holes done, we have our heads on, we have the bottom end bolted together, and we have another day tomorrow that we can do it. Tomorrow, our plans are get the intake on, we'll get our rear main seal, we'll get it bolted up to the transmission, we'll get it stabbed in, we picked up headers for it today, and then we will move on to the bed. We'll get the bed set so we can take it to a show Saturday night. So, time for Tommy to get out of here, time for me to go and do something else. I don't know if you guys can tell or not, I'm doing a huge remodel on the house, stealing time from here to do that, so maybe I have too much on my plate. I've been known to do that. Anyway, you got anything?
We got a ride height right, we got springs in it.
Brakes?
Right.
We're going to show you some of that, hopefully. Maybe we'll show you that tomorrow, I don't know. Anyway, I guess as usual, thanks for watching.